Okay, I need to confess something to you. 5 minutes ago, I almost deleted this recording because my hands were shaking and the hotel smoke alarm chirped once like it wanted to start a fight. It's a small, silly kind of drama, but it got in my head, and right in the middle of all that noise, I felt my heart skip, like the room blinked, like the world held its breath, and all I could think was you. Sitting somewhere with the lights low, maybe pretending you're fine, maybe folding laundry you don't even need folded just to stay busy, maybe staring at the ceiling because your mind won't let you rest, still showing up for everybody, still being the strong one. I hope this is okay to say, but I felt this quiet nudge in my chest, like, go check on her, don't wait. So I'm here, not to fix you, not to lecture you, not to tell you what your life should look like, just to sit with you for a minute, to keep you company in the quiet, and maybe if it lands the right way, to remind you of something you've forgotten when the world got loud. It was late, a plain hotel room, nothing romantic, just that beige kind of silence you get when the air conditioner is doing its best and the world outside is asleep. I'd been running on fumes, coffee obligations, the feeling that if I don't keep moving, something will fall apart. I know you know that feeling, the if I stop, I'll crumble feeling. I sat on the edge of the bed, shoes still on, suitcase half open like a mouth that never stops asking. And then my body did this small, unannounced reset. Not a collapse, not a dramatic fainting spell. Just 2 or 3 heartbeats where everything went still. And in that stillness, I slipped into a kind of quiet that felt brighter than daylight. I don't know how else to say it. It was like stepping into a room inside the room, one I'd been walking past for years without seeing the door. No thunder, no big cinematic moment, just a presence. And I don't know how to explain it without sounding strange, but the clearest sentence landed inside me, gentle, steady, undeniable. I know you by name. Not in a scary way, not like a spotlight, more like the way someone says your name when they love you and they're not trying to get anything from you. The way a good friend says it when you're about to cry and you don't want to. The way a parent says it when you've had a hard day and you're trying to act like you haven't. I just sat there, and for the first time in a long time, I wasn't trying to be impressive. I wasn't trying to hold the world together with my shoulders. I wasn't bargaining with time. I was just known. My mind started doing what minds do, trying to argue, trying to qualify, trying to earn it, trying to say, yeah, but you don't know my mess. Trying to say, yeah, but I should be stronger than this. But the presence didn't argue back. It didn't shame me. It didn't list my failures like receipts. It just held me like warmth you can't see, but you can feel. And I felt this soft kind of grief move through me, like something unclenching, like years of bracing, finally realizing, oh, I don't have to brace right now. I think God does that sometimes, not with fireworks, with gentleness, and I'm grateful for it. Because right there between those heartbeats, I realized something that kind of broke me open quietly. Maybe we've been living like our value has to be proved every day, like love is something you have to keep winning, like rest is only for people who've earned it. Like if you stop performing, you disappear. And I'm looking at you as I say that because I think you know that feeling, the invisible feeling. The one where people need you, but they don't really see you. The one where you can be surrounded and still feel alone. The one where you've spent years being reliable, and somewhere along the way you stopped asking for anything because it felt safer to be the giver than to risk being the one who needs. And can I say this gently? You don't have to live like that. You are not invisible to God, and I don't think you're invisible to me either. Not tonight. I don't know if this makes sense, but I think that sentence, I know you by name, isn't just for people who have it all together. I think it's for the woman who's exhausted and still kind. The woman who's been brave for decades. The woman who carries her years with a strength the world doesn't know how to honor. And maybe no one tells you this plainly anymore, so let me try softly. The way you've survived, it matters. The way you kept going when it would have been easier to shut down, it matters. The way you still have tenderness left, even after disappointment, that's not weakness. That's something holy. So here's what I want to do with you, step by step in the minutes ahead. I want to show you how being known changes everything, how it shifts identity before you even touch your to-do list, how pressure stops being a courtroom and becomes a place where you can breathe again, how love, real love, can make your work and your days feel like a blessing instead of a burden. And at the end, I want to share a short prayer, not a fancy one, just a small one you can whisper anywhere, at the sink, in the car, lying awake at 2 a.m., when your chest feels tight and you don't want to fall apart. You don't have to answer me, just hear me. Stay with me a little longer. If you're willing, before we go on, leave me a tiny comment, just one word, something like here or still listening or even I'm tired. Not because I need numbers, but because I want you to know you're not alone in this quiet. Before you do, you are. If you did leave that little word in the comments, here, or still listening, or I'm tired, I just want you to know I felt it, and I'm still here too. Now, can I tell you something I've been holding inside? Most of us were trained quietly to believe our value is something we maintain, like a house that will fall apart the second you stop repairing it, like love is rent you have to pay every month with performance. So we keep showing up, we keep smiling, we keep proving, and then one day we're 60 or 55 or old enough to know better, and we realize we've spent years being strong in ways nobody celebrated. I think that's why that sentence, "I know you by name," hit me like it did. Because it doesn't say, "I know what you produce." It doesn't say, "I know what you look like." It doesn't even say, "I know what you did right." It says, "I know you." And I hope this is okay to say, but I want that to sink into you tonight like warm water. Not as an idea, as a place you can rest. Because here's the truth most people don't say out loud. When your identity isn't settled, everything feels like a test. Every conversation feels like a performance review. Every relationship feels like you're on probation. Every quiet moment feels dangerous because you might hear what you've been trying not to hear. But when your identity is settled, your whole nervous system softens. You stop running like you're being chased by an invisible judge. You start living from love, not for love. And you deserve that. You deserve mornings where you don't wake up already behind. You deserve evenings where you don't feel guilty for resting. You deserve a life where your worth isn't tied to being useful, agreeable, youthful, or easy. Let me say it gently because I don't want to overwhelm you. You are not an emergency. You are not a burden. You are not too much, and you are not too late. I know the world can make you feel like you missed your moment, like you had your chance and now you're just supposed to be grateful for whatever crumbs are left. But I don't believe that. I think God is more tender than that. I think He's been keeping you in ways you didn't even notice, protecting you in the small turns you thought were random, steadying you in the seasons you thought were just survival. And I think He's still writing with you, even now, especially now. So here's a simple practice, nothing fancy, nothing performative, just something you can do the next time your mind starts yelling, before you check the phone, before you replay that conversation, before you start fixing everybody else. Put a hand on your chest, if that feels okay, and just whisper, "I belong, I am known, I am loved," without earning it, and then breathe like you mean it. Not a shallow, polite breath, a real one. The kind that tells your body, "We're safe right now." Because sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is stop rushing. If all you do tomorrow is make coffee and sit for 30 seconds longer than usual, that counts. If all you do is fold one towel slowly, that counts. If all you do is speak to yourself with a little less violence, that counts. I know that sounds small, but small is where healing starts. And listen, there's a reason I'm beginning here at identity. Because once you remember who you are, the next question doesn't feel like pressure anymore. The next question becomes kind of beautiful. Who becomes safer because you exist, not because you're perfect, not because you saved everyone, just because you steady, seasoned, human real. And that's where we're going next. Because after your worth is settled, we can talk about your life's assignment, not like a heavy job you have to earn, but like a quiet gift you're allowed to carry. Stay with me just a little longer. The quiet work, that's actually your calling. Can I tell you something without making it heavy? I think your calling isn't always a spotlight. Sometimes it's more like a frequency. It hums under your day. It shows up in the smallest choices, in the way you soften a room without announcing it, in the way you keep your integrity when nobody's clapping. And I know a lot of women your age were taught to downplay that, to say, oh, it was nothing, to treat courage like it's supposed to be silent, to treat kindness like it's just your job. But I don't think heaven sees it that way. I think God notices the quiet work, the kind of work nobody can monetize, the kind of work nobody puts on a resume, the kind of work that keeps families from breaking, keeps friendships from freezing, keeps your own heart from turning to stone. So when I say calling, I'm not only talking about careers, I'm talking about the way you show up. Calling doesn't usually arrive as fireworks. It arrives as fidelity. It arrives as you doing the next right thing, again, even when you're tired. It arrives as you telling the truth gently. It arrives as you refusing to become cruel even after you've been hurt. And I hope this is okay to say, but that kind of calling is rare because the world teaches people to perform. God teaches people to be present. And you've been practicing presence longer than you realize. Here's a question that's been sitting with me since last night, since that still moment in the hotel room. Who becomes safer because you exist? Not because you fixed everything, not because you saved everybody, just because you showed up with courage and kindness in ordinary clothes on ordinary days. That's calling in business attire. That's calling in a worn sweater. That's calling while you're paying bills and carrying groceries and holding back tears in the parking lot. And there's something else. Calling will test your motives, not to punish you, not to shame you, just to refine you. It will ask quietly, am I doing this to be seen or to serve love? Am I doing this to control or to care? Am I doing this to prove I'm worthy or because I already know I am? Because once your identity is settled, you stop bargaining. You stop living like you're on trial. You start building. You start moving like someone who's loved. And listen, I know moving can sound scary, especially if you've been carrying everyone else for a long time. So let's make it simple. Here's a practice I've used when I'm about to walk into a room, any room. Before you open the door, take one breath and ask yourself silently, who needs to exhale in here? Who needs to feel respected? Who needs a little more mercy than they're going to ask for? That question changes you. It shifts your posture from performance to presence. And real calling thrives in truth. It suffocates in theater. So if you're in a season where you feel like you're late, I want to say this gently. You're not late, you're seasoned. You have depth the younger version of you couldn't have carried yet. You have discernment. You know how people hide pain behind polite smiles. That's not a disadvantage. That's equipment. And if your calling feels unclear right now, that doesn't mean you missed it. Sometimes it just means God is asking you to loosen your grip on control so you can feel the next step. Because calling does this strange thing. It disturbs the part of us that wants to run the whole world. It asks us to trust one brave step at a time. And I know trust is hard when you've been disappointed. So let me stay gentle with you here. You don't have to make a 10-year plan tonight. Just one small yes, one small honest thing. one small boundary that protects your peace, one small act of kindness that doesn't cost you your soul. That's how calling starts to become visible. Not with a grand announcement, with alignment. And when you align like that, something else begins to happen. Pressure changes shape. Before, pressure feels like a courtroom. After, it becomes a workshop. Before, delays feel like disrespect. After, they become tutors in patience. Before, criticism shrinks your heart. After, criticism becomes whether you notice it, but it doesn't own you. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's like you stop outsourcing your sanity to circumstances. You stop letting the world decide whether today is safe. You learn to carry peace inside you. And that brings me to the next piece, the one that matters when life gets loud: presence. My dear, presence isn't a theory. It's a tool you can reach for when the storm hits. And storms don't always look like thunder outside your window. Sometimes a storm is a medical appointment you've been dreading, a phone call you can't unhear, a family situation where you're trying not to be the difficult one, a lonely evening that feels longer than it should, the sudden realization that you've been strong for everybody and you don't know who's strong for you. In those moments, fear starts doing what it does. It predicts a future without God in it. It runs a movie in your mind and calls it realism. So here's a line I learned to hold on to softly without drama. Fear is imagining tomorrow without God. And you can decline that invitation, not by forcing yourself to be positive, not by pretending it doesn't hurt, but by inviting presence into the room with you. Because presence changes the way you pilot your life before it changes the weather around you. I wish I could say it fixes everything instantly. It doesn't, but it steadies you, and steady is holy. Let me give you something practical, simple, not small. The next time you feel the storm rising, try this little checklist. 1. Name what you feel, not the story, just the feeling. I'm scared, I'm lonely, I'm overwhelmed. 2. Put your feet on the ground, literally. Feel the floor. 3. Ask for one next step, not 10. 1. 4. Choose the room you want to live in. Rooms where fear leads versus rooms where honor leads. You'll feel the difference in your body. And please hear me, presence is not passivity. Presence isn't a couch, it's a spine. It's the calm kind of strength that keeps you from becoming brittle. I remember a night winter when everything felt like it might slip. I was around people, but I felt alone. And I could feel that old reflex. Tighten up, push through, don't need anything. But I stopped. I took the smallest pause, and I whispered, barely audible, God, take a seat with me. No fancy words, just honesty. And something shifted, not outside me, inside me. It didn't erase the problem. It didn't cancel the storm, but it gave me this quiet clarity like a light turning on in the back of a room. And I thought, oh, I can do the next right thing. I don't have to do everything. I don't have to do it alone. So stay with me. Because next, I want to show you what presence does to your relationships and to your decisions when life is shaking. And I want to talk gently about the difference between being nice and being at peace. You don't have to answer, just hear me. The kind of freedom that doesn't shout. Before we talk about what to do with your life, I want to talk about what happens when you finally stop living under fear's voice. Because fear, it's sneaky. It doesn't always show up as panic. Sometimes it shows up dressed like wisdom, like being realistic, like protecting yourself. And I get it. I really do. You've been through things that taught you to brace. You've loved people who didn't hold you gently. You've had seasons where you had to be your own rescue, so your system learned to stay alert. But I hope this is okay to say Some of what you call strength is actually just exhaustion with good manners. And the quiet freedom you're craving, it's not you becoming someone else, it's you coming home to yourself. Can I say something I've been holding inside? I think one of the bravest things you can do at this age is let yourself be seen without performing. Not perfect seen, not impressive seen, just real. Because real is luminous, not loud, not flashy, but luminous in the way a lamp is, luminous in a dark hallway. It doesn't fight the dark, it just stays on. And here's the hard part nobody warns you about. When you start living with that kind of quiet light, some people will misunderstand you. They'll call your boundaries cold. They'll call your peace distance. They'll call your honesty attitude. Not because you're wrong, but because your freedom confronts their control. And I don't want to overwhelm you, but this is important. To be free, you have to accept being misread sometimes. That used to scare me. I used to think being misunderstood meant I failed. But now, I think it sometimes means you stopped auditioning. And for you who spent years being palatable, agreeable, easy, that shift can feel like a small earthquake. So let's make it gentle. If fear talks fast, freedom talks slow. Fear says, what if? Freedom says, what is true right now? Fear says, you're too old. Freedom says, you're seasoned and you're still here. Fear says, don't rock the boat. Freedom says, I won't betray myself to keep someone comfortable. Fear says they'll leave. Freedom says if they leave because I asked for respect, that's information, not tragedy. And I know those sentences can feel sharp, so soften them with breath, because breath is where your body learns the truth again. Here's a tiny practice, something you can carry like a coin in your pocket. When you feel fear rising, don't argue with it first. Just whisper, not today, not like this. God, keep me steady. And then take one slow breath like you're telling your nervous system, we're not in danger, we're just uncomfortable. Sometimes that's all it is. Not danger, just discomfort. And your body has confused the two for a long time because you've had to survive. So we retrain it kindly. There's also a freedom in naming. Fear's first trick is making you think it is you. I am anxious. I am broken. I am too much. I am unwanted. But naming changes the whole game. I'm feeling anxiety. I'm carrying grief. I'm having a lonely night. Do you feel the difference? One is an identity. The other is a weather report. Weather passes, and I don't know if this makes sense, but I think God gave us language partly so we could stop drowning in unnamed feelings. So tonight, if you can try naming one thing softly. I'm tired. I'm scared of being left. I'm afraid I won't matter anymore. I feel unseen. And then this matters, add one more sentence. But I am still loved. Not as a slogan, as a hand on your back. Now, I want to touch something people sometimes get weird about. You might hear words like spiritual attack, and it can sound dramatic, but let me say it in a way that won't scare you. Sometimes darkness isn't a monster. Sometimes it's just a pattern that tries to keep you small. A pattern of shame, a pattern of self-abandonment, a pattern of saying yes when your soul is saying no. And freedom is simply refusing the pattern, not with hate, not with drama, with a quiet, stubborn goodness. With blessing. Blessing doesn't mean you approve of what hurts you. It means you refuse to become what hurts you. And that is holy. Freedom also lands in your body as rest. Fear wants your nights. It wants you replaying conversations. It wants you predicting disasters like you're paid for it. But rest is rebellion. Rest says I'm not a machine. Rest says my life is not earned by suffering. Rest says God can work while I sleep. So tonight, if your mind tries to sprint, try this simple permission. I'm allowed to put this down. And if you need a gentle boundary for your own heart, I'll think about this tomorrow at a reasonable hour, like someone who deserves peace, because you do. And in conflict, this is where freedom gets real. Freedom speaks softly and acts decisively, not controlling, not punishing, just clear. Freedom stops explaining itself to people committed to misunderstanding. Freedom doesn't chase approval like it's oxygen. Freedom chooses the next right step and lets the noise be noise. And my God, I want that for you. I want you to walk into rooms without shrinking, without bracing, without rehearsing how to be easy. Just you. Present. Luminous on purpose. So here's where we're headed next. This is the last turn of the road. Once you taste this freedom, the question becomes, what do you do with it? How do you steward your yes, your time, your tenderness, your remaining years so your life feels like peace, not pressure? Stay with me, I'm gonna make it practical. What you do with the life you still have. Okay, this is the part where I don't wanna get preachy. I just wanna be close, honest, practical, because freedom is beautiful, but it can also feel unfamiliar. When you've spent years bracing peace can feel almost suspicious, like what am I forgetting? What's about to go wrong? So let's make peace simple. Peace isn't the absence of problems. Peace is the presence of God inside you while problems exist. And stewardship, real stewardship, is just you choosing what gets access to your heart. Not everything deserves a seat at your table. Not every voice deserves a microphone in your mind. Not every relationship deserves the full version of you. That's not bitterness. That's wisdom. So here are a few quiet rules I try to live by softly, like a man who's learned the hard way. 1, protect your mornings from the world's panic. Before the phone, before the news, before other people's urgency. Give God the first minute. It can be as small as, thank you for keeping me, help me be gentle today, lead me in peace. That's it, 1 minute, because what you feed first grows. 2, spend your yes like it's sacred currency. Some people treat your yes like it's free, but it costs you energy, it costs you time, it costs you emotional bandwidth. So before you say yes, ask, will this keep me aligned or will it drain me into resentment? And if you're not sure, you can say something holy and simple. Let me think about it. That sentence saves lives. 3, choose relationships that feel like calm, not confusion. I don't mean relationships that are always easy. I mean relationships where your nervous system can unclench, where you're not constantly interpreting, where you're not walking on eggshells, where you're not proving you deserve basic respect. And if you're thinking, but I don't have many people like that, let me say it gently, 1 safe person is worth more than 10 loud ones. And sometimes God doesn't send a crowd. Sometimes He sends 1 steady friend, 1 neighbor, 1 community, 1 quiet connection. 4, make your home a sanctuary, even if it's small. Light a candle, play a song that feels like mercy. Keep 1 chair that means rest. Your home doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be a place where your soul can breathe. Because you've spent enough years surviving, you deserve to live. 5, use your pain without letting it define you. This one is tender. Some things happen to you that should not have happened, and I'm not going to minimize that. But here's what I believe quietly. God doesn't waste pain. He can turn it into discernment, into compassion, into boundaries, into a voice that knows how to comfort. Not because you should be grateful for suffering, no, but because grace has a way of finding you in the rubble and building something gentle there. 6, when you feel lost, return to the smallest faithful step. Not the biggest one, the smallest one. Drink water, take a walk, text the safe person, write the truth down, Turn the lights low and breathe. Sometimes spiritual maturity looks like doing the next small thing without spiraling. And you can do that. You've been doing it for years. Now I want to give you that little prayer I promised. Not a performance, just something you can whisper anywhere when you need your mind to soften and your heart to feel held. A quiet prayer you can whisper tonight. God, I'm tired, and I'm done pretending I'm not. Please quiet what's loud inside me. Please lift what I was never meant to carry alone. Help me remember who I am before I try to prove anything. Show me the next right step, not the whole staircase, just the next step. Bless my body with rest. Bless my mind with peace. Bless my heart with gentleness. And if I feel alone tonight, remind me softly that you know me by name. Amen. I don't know. I hope that felt like a hand on your shoulder, not a weight on your chest. And before we end, I just want to say this plainly. The way you've kept going, it's beautiful. The way you still have tenderness, it's rare. And you don't have to spend your remaining years proving you deserve love. I'm here quietly and willingly. And I hope your night feels gentle.